Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. The 78G is one of my favorite fountain pens coming from Pilot. I don't know why, but this specific model from them always gives me a good feeling vibe. It reminds me of school days, even though I never owned a Pilot back then. The way it's designed to me seems perfect in every way, with a healthy dose of the 90s in it. Elegant, well priced, and paired with a very decent nib on it. If there is only one student fountain pen that I have to recommend to anyone, this will be it. I personally like everything about it. I like the section size and shape and how it's beautifully, almost seamlessly connects to the barrel. I like the balance of it in hand, posted or unposted. Love the clip tension, the nib. It even comes originally with a converter, albeit not an amazing one, a pipette style one, the CON20 version, but hey, it comes with a converter. The sad part about it is that the 78G has been discontinued some time ago, but don't despair, there is a new version, the 78G Plus, which is pretty much the same fountain pen with different colors and a slightly different clip. I did use this little thing for a few odd sketches in the past, more like bored out of my mind in a meeting or something like that, scribbling on the edge of a notebook, but never went for a full page drawing like I'm doing nowadays. I'm really curious to see how it's going to perform. I think it might be a little bit of a chore with that tiny nib on it, because it's extra fine. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let me ink it up first and see how it writes. As mentioned, the fountain pen originally came with a CON20 converter, but I borrowed it from it when I did a video for the Metropolitan or Cocoon, and it's still on it. So for today, like last week, I will be using an ink cartridge. Since I have two of them sitting around, I basically have a choice between a black or a blue, and I decided to go with the blue. Still haven't had a chance to get a blue ink from Miroshizuku, so I thought that this is the perfect opportunity to test it out and see if I like it. I did have to squeeze the converter a little bit to get the ink flowing through the feed, but fortunately the cartridge is not as tough as the ones from Platinum, so the process was not too painful and it did not take a long time until ink started flowing properly. Not sure if I mentioned this yet, but the nib of this fountain pen is extra fine, and I mean extra fine. Should be perfect for my type of scribble and writing style, but keep in mind that usually Japanese extra fine is more fine than you might expect. I know originally when I had an extra fine from Japan, I was shocked of how fine it was. Anyway, the nib works wonderfully on the normal side without any issues, but unfortunately this specific nib that I have is not really working on reverse. It's scratchy and barely any ink is coming out of it, pretty much unusable from my perspective. Not a big deal since the normal side is fine enough basically, but something to keep in mind. I don't know if all of them are like that, mine unfortunately it is. I never bothered to work the nib on reverse and get it going because well, the nib in itself it is fine enough. I assume I won't need to do that during today's Scribble either, but if by any chance I end up changing it and working on it, I'll let you know. With that said, let's dive into the Scribble already and see what we can get with this fountain pen and ink combo. Tonight I had no idea on what I wanted to do, so as usual I started with some random circles and lines and slowly built up until I started to see something. At first I thought I might end up with another rock dude because of the all rock-like round things that I was putting on the page, but then I started to add some curvature to the entire top shape, and then I noticed some sort of a skull or brain-like structure, and then I wasn't sure how to continue the thing and I started to draw some vertical lines that quickly kind of turned into tentacles-like things that were coming straight out of the skull. I guess at this point it became a skull, not a brain anymore, since I already started to have an eye socket on it. Kind of an odd thing to have an eye embedded in the brain, no? Or maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, the thing evolved into its own off thing without a bottom jaw. Not sure how it's supposed to feed itself. I guess it could just drop on top of its prey and pierce it with its pretty large top fangs, and then use its tentacles to shove its meal down the, I assume, throat? I think it has a throat. Might have it somewhere in there, maybe, I don't know. I'll leave it up to your imagination. It turned out to be an interesting thing in the end, I guess. Not sure if it's scary or just misunderstood. It took me a while to do it though. That extra fine nib on the fountain pen was a true chore to use. It could not fill in a lot of space at once, so filling in things and then layer it again took me a little bit of time. But it did its job nonetheless. It had a little bit of drying issues, but not because there is something wrong with the fountain pen. It started drying a little bit because in some parts I was moving my hand very fast, and I guess that tiny nib could not keep up with me. Once I was slowing down a little bit, it was back to normal. The more annoying part is that because of the tip of the nib, its almost needle-like point, as I was moving my hand fast, it was starting to dig a little bit in the paper. Another reason why I had to slow down a little. There were a couple of spots where I thought I went through the page, but to my surprise, the Fabriano paper held up pretty well again. I can also safely say that I do like this ink, and I might grab some of this ink as well sometime in the future when budget allows me to. Not sure what ink is this, but I'm assuming that they are filling their cartridges with the Konpeki ink, or am I mistaken? Anyone knows? I still have half the cartridge left thanks to that nib. That should last me a while until I figure out what ink that is and until I have the budget for it. Oh, and as I was mentioning last week, this week I brought out to play some really old pencils that I had in my collections since the days when I was in the art school. First one that I used, it was a 3B. I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but KOH-I-NOOR HARDTMUTH, Gold Star from Chechia, and an 8B from STAEDTLER, Mars Lumograph from Germany. I have forgotten how nice that 8B is on the paper and how dark it can get. I love it. I think both in the end complemented the blue ink from Pilot pretty well, and once again I think it brought another dimension to the drawing and I was able to create more depth to the scribble. I think I need to practice more with the pencils though. Feels like I don't get the nice smoothness and transitions that I used to get with them. Maybe I don't have the patience anymore and I need to practice that, or maybe I just need to bring out some blending stamps as well. Haven't used one of them for a while as well now. Anyway, to end my ramblings, tonight was another fun drawing, obviously a fun night, fun fountain pen that I love entirely, with an interesting scribble that brought a smile on my face, especially after throwing those pencils at it. So basically fun. Anyway, it's late and I guess it's time for me to go to sleep, and I leave you to enjoy the rest of the time lapse. I will see you next time, hopefully. And I wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.